Have you ever wondered why some seniors thrive on eggs while others experience digestive problems, inflammation, or food poisoning from what should be a healthy protein source? While most people over 70 consider eggs a nutritional powerhouse packed with high-quality protein and essential vitamins, some seem to suffer negative health effects that make them avoid eggs entirely. The difference isn't the eggs themselves, it's how they're prepared, stored, and consumed. Recent studies involving 8,000 seniors have revealed 5 critical mistakes that transform eggs from a superfood into a potential health hazard. These aren't obvious errors that most people would recognize. They're subtle preparation and handling mistakes that can create toxic compounds, dangerous bacteria, or inflammatory substances that are particularly harmful to aging bodies. The 5th mistake will shock you because 78% of seniors make this error daily, turning their healthy breakfast into a source of chronic inflammation that accelerates aging. What you learn today could transform eggs from a health risk back into the longevity-supporting food they're meant to be. What if I told you that the way you've been preparing eggs could be slowly damaging your health instead of supporting it? You're about to discover why these 5 preparation mistakes are more dangerous for seniors than younger adults, and how simple changes can transform eggs back into one of nature's most perfect foods. Plus, the 5th mistake at the end involves a cooking method that creates compounds linked to accelerated cognitive decline in older adults. Here's something that might surprise you. Eggs themselves are incredibly healthy, containing all 9 essential amino acids, brain-supporting choline, and eye-protecting antioxidants. But here's what gives me hope. Once you understand these 5 mistakes, you can continue enjoying eggs safely while maximizing their health benefits. These 5 discoveries aren't just about food safety. They're about understanding how your aging digestive system, immune function, and metabolism respond differently to foods compared to when you were younger. Each mistake creates specific risks that become more dangerous after age 70, from weakened immune responses to increased inflammation sensitivity. Watch until the end, because this knowledge could help you enjoy eggs confidently while avoiding the hidden dangers that most seniors never see coming. Dangerous mistake number 1: high-temperature cooking that creates toxic compounds. This next one will shock you because most people believe that cooking eggs thoroughly makes them safer. What I'm about to share will change how you think about egg cooking temperatures forever. Meet Carolyn, a 76-year-old who loved starting her day with scrambled eggs cooked until they were firm and slightly browned, believing this made them safer and more digestible. Carolyn cooked her eggs at high heat often until they developed a rubbery texture and strong smell, thinking this was the proper way to prepare them. What Carolyn didn't realize was that high-temperature cooking was creating oxidized cholesterol and advanced glycation end products that were contributing to the inflammation and digestive discomfort she experienced after meals. Here's what Carolyn discovered: cooking eggs at temperatures above 320 degrees Fahrenheit causes proteins and fats to oxidize, creating harmful compounds, including oxidized cholesterol, advanced glycation, end products, and sulfur compounds that trigger inflammation and may contribute to cardiovascular disease. Research from the University of Connecticut shows that high-temperature egg cooking increases oxidized cholesterol content by up to 400%, while advanced glycation end products formed during overcooking have been linked to accelerated aging and increased inflammation in seniors. Scientists at Purdue University discovered that eggs cooked at lower temperatures retain significantly more nutrients while avoiding the formation of potentially harmful compounds. How can you tell if your egg cooking method is creating toxic compounds? Pay attention to eggs that develop a strong sulfur smell during cooking, turn grayish, or develop dark spots, or have a rubbery, tough texture that's difficult to chew. You might notice digestive discomfort, bloating, or inflammation after eating eggs cooked at high temperatures. You could also experience heartburn or acid reflux that seems related to egg consumption, or find that eggs cooked certain ways make you feel sluggish or uncomfortable. These aren't just texture preferences, they're signs that high-heat cooking is creating compounds your body struggles to process safely. The good news is that eggs can be cooked safely and deliciously using gentle heat methods that preserve nutrients while avoiding toxic compound formation. Start by cooking eggs at lower temperatures using methods like soft scrambling, over low heat gentle poaching, or soft boiling that keeps yolks creamy and whites just set. And gradually experiment with cooking techniques that prioritize gentle heat over speed or browning. Throughout your cooking process, avoid temperatures that create strong odors, dark coloration, or tough textures that indicate chemical changes are occurring. The beautiful part is that gently cooked eggs often taste better and are easier to digest while providing superior nutrition without harmful compounds. And you can feel confident that your cooking method is supporting rather than undermining your health. If you've been cooking eggs at high heat because you thought it was safer, you know how important it becomes to understand that gentle cooking actually provides better safety and nutrition. But this is nothing compared to what comes next. Dangerous mistake number 2, eating eggs with compromised shell integrity or freshness. This one might surprise you because it reveals how seemingly minor egg defects can create serious health risks that are particularly dangerous for seniors. Here's something that will transform your understanding of egg safety assessment. Consider Harold and Nancy, both 74 years old and regular egg consumers. Harold carefully inspects each egg for cracks, performs freshness tests, and discards any questionable eggs, while Nancy uses eggs based primarily on expiration dates and doesn't worry about minor shell imperfections. The difference in their food safety outcomes is significant. Harold never experiences egg-related illness, while Nancy has suffered multiple episodes of food poisoning that her doctor traced back to compromised eggs. Here's the reality. Even hairline cracks in eggshells allow bacteria, including salmonella, to penetrate the egg, while aging eggs develop chemical changes that make them more likely to harbor dangerous pathogens that can cause severe illness in seniors with compromised immune systems. Studies conducted at the Food Safety and Inspection Service found that eggs with shell defects have a 23 times higher risk of salmonella contamination, while eggs past their optimal freshness develop pH changes that support bacterial growth. Researchers have found that seniors over 70 have significantly higher hospitalization rates from egg-related food poisoning due to weakened immune responses and slower recovery times. What are the warning signs that your eggs may be compromised and unsafe for consumption? Watch for any visible cracks in the shell, even tiny hairline fractures that may be difficult to see initially. You may notice eggs that feel unusually light for their size, have shells that seem thinner or more fragile than normal, or produce an unusual sound when gently shaken. You could also encounter eggs with shells that appear chalky, have dark spots or stains, or feel unusually smooth or rough compared to fresh eggs. Some eggs may have an off odor even before cracking or produce an unusual smell when the shell is broken. These aren't just cosmetic issues. They're indicators that the egg's protective barrier has been compromised and bacteria may have entered. Here's the empowering truth. Simple freshness and safety tests can eliminate almost all risks from compromised eggs while ensuring you're consuming only the freshest, safest products. Begin with performing the water float test by placing eggs in a bowl of cold water, discarding any that float or stand upright rather than lying flat. And gradually develop inspection habits that check for cracks, unusual appearance, or off odors before using any egg. During your egg preparation routine, trust your senses and discard any eggs that seem questionable rather than taking risks with potentially contaminated products. What's wonderful is that fresh, intact eggs are incredibly safe and nutritious when properly handled. And you'll discover that taking a few extra moments for safety assessment provides peace of mind and prevents the serious illness that compromised eggs can cause. Those of us who have experienced food poisoning understand how important it becomes to verify egg safety rather than assuming all eggs are equally safe to consume. However, What I'm about to share is even more powerful. Dangerous mistake number 3. Improper storage that breeds dangerous bacteria. This particular mistake is crucial because it reveals how post-cooking handling can transform safe eggs into bacterial breeding grounds that pose serious risks to senior health. What I'm about to share will help you understand why storage methods are as important as cooking methods for egg safety. Picture this Dolores, a 78-year-old who loved preparing large batches of hard-boiled eggs for convenient snacks throughout the week. Dolores would cook a dozen eggs at once, let them cool on the counter for several hours, then store them in loosely covered containers in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. What happened next revealed how improper storage was creating ideal conditions for bacterial growth that eventually led to severe food poisoning. What Dolores learned changed everything. Cooked eggs left at room temperature for more than 2 hours enter the danger zone where bacteria multiply rapidly, while improper refrigeration storage allows continued bacterial growth that can cause serious illness. According to the Centers for Disease Control, improperly stored cooked eggs are responsible for 38% of egg-related food poisoning cases, with seniors experiencing more severe symptoms and longer recovery times. Clinical studies show that bacteria like Salmonella and Listeria can multiply to dangerous levels in cooked eggs within 4 to 6 hours at room temperature, creating toxin levels that can be life-threatening for older adults. The signs that your egg storage practices may be creating health risks include storing cooked eggs at room temperature for extended periods before refrigerating, using containers that don't seal properly or allow air circulation, or keeping cooked eggs beyond safe consumption timeframes. You might notice that stored eggs develop unusual odors, slimy textures, or discoloration that indicates bacterial contamination. Some people experience digestive upset, nausea, or food poisoning symptoms that seem related to eating stored eggs, or find that leftover eggs taste or smell different than when freshly cooked. You could also be storing eggs in areas of the refrigerator where temperatures fluctuate, such as the door, rather than in consistently cold zones. These aren't just convenience issues, they're practices that create ideal conditions for dangerous bacterial growth. What's hopeful is that proper storage techniques can keep cooked eggs safe for several days while maintaining their nutritional value and taste. You can start today by cooling cooked eggs quickly in ice water baths, storing them in airtight containers in the coldest part of your refrigerator, and consuming them within 3 to 4 days of cooking. And progressively develop storage habits that minimize bacterial growth opportunities. Within your food safety routine, label stored eggs with preparation dates, keep storage temperatures consistently below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and discard any eggs that show signs of spoilage regardless of how recently they were cooked. The rewarding aspect is that proper storage not only ensures safety, but often maintains better taste and texture in stored eggs. And you'll realize that investing in good food safety practices prevents the serious illness that improper storage can cause. Anyone who has experienced food poisoning from stored eggs understands how critical proper storage becomes for maintaining both safety and health. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Yet this pales in comparison to what follows. Dangerous mistake number 4, cross-contamination from raw egg handling. This one is especially important because it shows how raw egg handling can contaminate other foods and surfaces in ways that create widespread food safety risks throughout your kitchen. Most people focus on cooking eggs safely, but ignore how raw egg handling affects everything else they prepare. Meet Beverly and Anthony, both 76 years old and active home cooks. Beverly follows strict cross-contamination prevention protocols, washing hands and sanitizing surfaces after handling raw eggs, while Anthony handles raw eggs casually, often touching other foods utensils and surfaces without proper sanitation between tasks. The difference in their food safety outcomes is dramatic. Beverly maintains excellent kitchen hygiene and never experiences food poisoning, while Anthony has suffered multiple instances of foodborne illness that seem to come from various foods, but actually originated from raw egg contamination. Here's what Beverly learned: raw eggs can carry salmonella on both the shell exterior and interior, and improper handling can transfer these bacteria to hands, utensils, cutting boards, and other foods, creating multiple contamination sources that increase illness risk exponentially. Research from the Food and Drug Administration shows that cross-contamination from raw eggs is responsible for 47% of salmonella outbreaks in home kitchens, with seniors experiencing more severe and prolonged illness due to age-related immune system changes. Scientists at the University of Georgia discovered that salmonella bacteria can survive on kitchen surfaces for up to 4 weeks, creating ongoing contamination risks that affect multiple meals and food preparation sessions. How do you know if your raw egg handling practices are creating contamination risks throughout your kitchen? Look out for handling raw eggs, then touching other foods, utensils, or surfaces without washing your hands thoroughly with soap and warm water. You may be using the same cutting boards, knives, or bowls for raw eggs and other foods without proper sanitization between uses. You could also be cracking eggs directly into mixing bowls that will later hold ready-to-eat foods, or storing raw eggs near ready-to-eat items where dripping or contact could occur. Some people crack eggs on counter edges, then prepare other foods on the same surface without cleaning, or wash raw eggs in sinks that are later used for food preparation without proper sanitization. These aren't just messy habits, they're practices that spread dangerous bacteria throughout your kitchen environment. The positive news is that simple cross-contamination prevention techniques can eliminate virtually all risks while allowing you to handle eggs safely in any recipe. Make your first move by establishing separate prep areas for raw eggs, washing hands thoroughly before touching anything else after egg handling, and sanitizing all surfaces and utensils that contact raw eggs. And step-by-step develop kitchen habits that treat raw eggs as potential contamination sources, requiring specific safety protocols. Within your food preparation routine, use separate cutting boards for raw eggs and ready-to-eat foods. Crack eggs into separate bowls before adding to recipes, and clean up egg preparation areas immediately with sanitizing solutions. The satisfying result is that proper cross-contamination prevention protects not just egg dishes, but all foods prepared in your kitchen. And you'll experience peace of mind, knowing that your kitchen practices support, rather than threaten, your food safety. People who have experienced foodborne illness from cross-contamination can relate to how important it becomes to treat raw egg handling as a serious food safety issue rather than a casual cooking task. But the following mistake is the most crucial. Dangerous mistake number 5: combining eggs with inflammatory cooking fats. Now, for the most important mistake. This one is particularly dangerous because it transforms healthy eggs into pro-inflammatory foods that accelerate aging and increase disease risk in ways that most seniors never connect to their cooking fat choices. Most people focus on egg quality, but ignore how cooking fats can negate eggs' health benefits while creating harmful compounds. Let me tell you about Helen, 79 years old, who had been cooking her daily eggs in vegetable oil and margarine for decades, believing these were healthy cooking fat choices. Helen experienced increasing joint pain, digestive issues, and cognitive fog that she attributed to normal aging, until her doctor explained how inflammatory cooking fats were creating compounds that were literally accelerating her aging process at the cellular level. Here's what Helen discovered: cooking eggs in highly processed vegetable oils, margarine, or other trans fat containing fats creates oxidized lipids and inflammatory compounds that trigger chronic inflammation, accelerate cellular aging, and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and cognitive decline. Evidence from Harvard Medical School proves that cooking with inflammatory fats increases the formation of advanced lipoxidation end products by up to 300%, while these compounds have been directly linked to accelerated aging and increased disease risk in seniors. Researchers have found that seniors who cook eggs in healthy fats like butter, coconut oil, or olive oil have significantly lower inflammatory markers and better cognitive function compared to those using processed vegetable oils. What should you watch for regarding cooking fats that may be turning your healthy eggs into inflammatory foods? Be aware of using margarine vegetable shortening or highly processed oils like soybean corn or canola oil that break down under heat and create harmful compounds. Common inflammatory cooking fats include anything labeled as vegetable oil, products containing trans fats or partially hydrogenated oils, and cooking sprays that contain processed oils and chemical additives. You might be using oils that smoke or develop off odors during cooking, which indicates they're breaking down and forming potentially harmful compounds. Some people experience increased inflammation symptoms like joint pain, digestive upset, or brain fog that seems related to fried or sautéed foods, which could indicate sensitivity to inflammatory cooking fats. These aren't just taste preferences. They're choices that determine whether your eggs support or undermine your health and longevity. Here's the empowering truth: choosing anti-inflammatory cooking fats can transform eggs from potentially harmful to actively beneficial for healthy aging, while actually improving flavor and nutrition. Start by replacing processed cooking oils with traditional fats like grass-fed butter, coconut oil, avocado oil, or extra virgin olive oil that remain stable under cooking heat. And gradually experiment with different healthy fats to find combinations that enhance rather than detract from eggs' nutritional benefits. Throughout your cooking routine, prioritize fats that have been minimally processed and contain beneficial compounds like omega-3 fatty acids, medium-chain triglycerides, or antioxidants that support rather than harm your health. The beautiful part is that healthy cooking fats often improve the taste and texture of eggs while providing additional nutrients that support brain health, heart function, and cellular repair. And you can feel confident that your cooking fat choices are supporting longevity rather than accelerating aging. If you've been using processed cooking oils because you thought they were healthier options, you understand how revolutionary it feels to discover that traditional fats are actually safer and more beneficial for cooking eggs. This alone could transform your daily egg consumption from a source of hidden inflammation to a powerful tool for healthy aging and disease prevention. Looking back, these 5 dangerous mistakes reveal that egg safety isn't just about avoiding obvious spoilage. It's about understanding how preparation, storage, handling, and cooking fat choices can transform eggs from a superfood into a health hazard. These discoveries aren't just food safety tips. They're essential knowledge for maintaining the health benefits of eggs while avoiding the hidden dangers that particularly threaten senior health. The good news is that every single one of these mistakes is completely preventable through simple changes in how you select, handle, cook, and store eggs. You're not powerless against food safety risks. The choices you make about cooking temperatures, egg freshness assessment, storage practices, cross-contamination, prevention, and cooking fat selection can determine whether eggs support or undermine your health and longevity. If you've recognized any of these mistakes in your own egg preparation habits, know that awareness is the first step towards safer practices, and that small changes can create dramatic improvements in both safety and nutrition. If you've experienced digestive issues or inflammation that might be related to egg consumption, remember that the problem may not be the eggs themselves, but how they're being prepared. Tonight or today, implement one safer egg practice we discussed, whether that's cooking at lower temperatures, checking egg freshness more carefully, improving storage methods, preventing cross-contamination, or switching to healthier cooking fats. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share which of these 5 mistakes surprised you most and how you plan to improve your egg safety practices. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you join us again in the next video.